Yeah. Hey guys, doing out there? This is the Talk So Much Reality. Now I'm messing with y'all. How y'all doing? I don't know if no one's on it live yet. We got 2 viewers, all right. But this is for the ones who watch me when they get off work. Provoke their thought, to give them good talking points to talk to their families. And today we are going to talk about Bryce Mitchell. I have to talk about it. State of delay. We are going to talk about Mr. Bryce Mitchell. But at first, it sounds good, by the way. Hold on. I'm just doing this for a sound check real quick. Sounds good. Like, all right. First, it would not let me download this video on what Bryce Mitchell said. Why we're going to address what he said. And he should have stood on business. But I am going to show you guys the response that Mr. Rampage Jackson and I guess his co-host decided to dunk on Mr. Bryce Mitchell. You know, publicly humiliate, virtue signal. And that video, I just started echoing. I got a lot of backlash. And he took the video down. But it got clipped. And you know, once it's on the internet for 5 minutes, it's on the internet forever. So you got to be careful what y'all talk about. Sometimes virtual signals stand on business, you know? And Bryce Mitchell was, yes, he said some controversial things, but listen to what he's saying and the manner he said it. And we are going to break it down. And I wish he would have stood on business, but the people, when you hear the response, they didn't give him that platform. They didn't. They weren't going to, because they were trying to get notoriety off of his comments. And they scheduled this podcast like a couple months in advance, and this was just said, so this is fresh. So when they came in, they just attacked him, and now they are regretting that attack. So you're going to be able to hear. You're not going to show nothing now, but the response video y'all going to see right here to my side. But I couldn't download the video. They were very funny about this, which if you know, you know. So you're going to listen to it. And we're going to go over the things and why I think he should have stood on business. And I have a very good argument to support that claim, as well do a lot of truthers. So here we go. Listen to what he says.
I really don't think that he was, because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination. I really do think before Hitler got on meth, he was a guy I'd go fishing with. He fought
before he got on drugs. This is what he's saying. He's the guy to go fishing
for his country. He wanted to purify it by kicking the greedy Jews.
I got to move that word out. Y'all heard it.
Destroying his country and turning them all into gays. They were gaying out the kids. They were.
All right. I can't say no more on that. I got to respect community guidelines. We're using certain words, but everything that's happening today with a certain community, he went after. All right. So he talks about Hitler in a way that was pre-WW2 and post-WW1. Listen to the response that you're going to see, all right? He talks about, I can't play exactly word for word, but y'all get the gist. And that's because of his own history of research that he's looked up to see what was this man, all right? Now, clip's about to play how they dunked on him for saying that. And I am going to defend Bryce Mitchell, but come at Bryce Mitchell because he didn't stand on business with what you're about to watch. Play the video. I know that.
All right. Now, my first time meeting you, and we from the same area.
All right.
And I got to ask you, what the fuck is wrong with you, brother? We got to talk about this.
Right.
You know, I've been known to say some fucked up shit in my life. And shit I don't mean. I'm a comedian. I like to joke around and stuff like that. But, you know, you're a fighter. I'm a fighter. And we're used to being able to say whatever the fuck we want and stuff like that. But sometimes we just got to, really, think about what we say and then think if we should let that shit get out there. And, all right. Now, my first time meeting you, and we from the same area.
All right.
And I got to ask you, what the fuck is wrong with you, brother? We got to talk about this. Right. You know, I've been known to say some fucked up shit in my life.
And there was more, and I realized I can't play it all, but the other guy was virtue signaling. Now, I'm going to also keep in mind that they took this video down. Let's just say that right at that. Now, the reason why, and I hold the same beliefs as Bryce Mitchell in a numerous of categories. All right? Now, I don't agree with them for flat earth because you know holographic, blah, blah, blah. But when Bryce Mitchell is talking about AH, all right, pre-World War II, put it in perspective. You're talking about a man who brought back his country after it got decimated by us, might I add, as a corporate hostile takeover, brought his country back post-war, what became Time Magazine's Man of the Year. Post-war, created the economy of that country, rose it to power once again, and then developed the German Federal Bank. All right? And he was under that religion. What was Hitler? What books were Hitler burning? What books was he burning? What books were he burning? A certain type of books. Not all books. He was burning a certain specific genre of books, which was pointed to a certain rainbow coalition. That's what he didn't want. Doesn't it sound like we're in that same situation today? With the same wars, like we're history's repeating? Take it into perspective. That's what Bryce Mitchell was saying. And he's not wrong because the guy starts doing research, all right? I have a question. With historical, absoluteness. Is anything in our history absolute? He's questioning the narrative against World War II and what everyone said about this man who said the reason he did everything was because he wanted to make a supreme race, a pure race of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. And he wasn't even that. Didn't they say something about Lee Harvey Oswald as well? Huh? Didn't they say something about Bin Laden as well? What do y'all know that stuff to be of? But didn't they say something about Gaddafi? Huh? Didn't they say something about WMDs? Huh? Rosa Parks? We can go down the list and everything I name. There's a big ass lie. Oklahoma City? Huh? Let's talk about it. Let's stand on. This is what I wish Bryce Mitchell would have done because he has a lot of validity in his perspective on what he's saying. If you start going down history, right, and you start noticing everything is a narrative. Come on, guys. The towers, just the towers alone, which you think those buildings that fell, then Building 7, then the Pentagon with no plane wreckage, then you could say somebody lying. So you think they're not lying about that? My man's starting to do some research. He's starting to realize shit, that symbol that they had, that they showed everyone, that now everyone associates with a big social issue right now, which is racism. Everyone associates that symbol with that. It has nothing to do with that. But it's used in that way to keep you away from what that thing means. But I got to be very careful here. I am not pushing nothing that is anti-Semitic at all. I don't believe in hate. I will not have that on this platform. I will only believe in something that will push truth and love, especially internally. So then, therefore, you can make it externally. So you could broadcast properly. That's what this platform will always be for. Nothing against hate. So let me get that disclaimer out right now. But what Bryce Mitchell said should be controversial. It should be something to make you think. And if he was given the opportunity to say that on that podcast, if he would have had some cojones, some huevos to do that, this would have been a very eye-opening conversation. That's why they'll never allow someone like me on a platform like that, because I would have stood on business. I'm standing on business. You got me messed up. I'm standing on business, and I'm going to give you my argument, regardless of how it triggers you. Because a lot of you guys are triggered and have these biases that aren't even yours. You're operating on another person's thinking. You're operating on falsehoods. Damn near, might I say. Think about did Lee Harvey Oswald do what he did? Huh? And where the whole term coined conspiracy theorist came from? Did he do that? Nah, we've learned to come to find out it was our agency. Facts. Huh? We're starting to realize everything about Epstein was a lie. We're told he was trafficking minors, girls. And they tell us that. Everything they tell us, I'm sorry. And you could call me crazy, psychotic, schizophrenic. I'm losing it. Cool. You think whatever you want. The only reason you think that is because you haven't looked. You have not looked at all. At all. Am I denying that genocide is not evil? Of course. Absolutely. But you have to ask the question. This begs the question. The same people who are crying for this, everyone look at us, we're oppressed, are the same ones doing the oppression now. Isn't that ironic? How dare you guys? How dare you get mad at Bryce Mitchell when Bryce Mitchell is seeing the world and he's going, this doesn't make sense. How dare y'all? How dare y'all? Who are you to guide the beliefs or the realizations of any person when you haven't walked a mile in their shoes? You do not know what they've gone through. You have not known what they've experienced. And I'm sorry, Bryce Mitchell be hitting home on a lot of things. Not all things, but a lot of things Mr. Bryce Mitchell is hitting home on. When he talks about Elon Musk's and billionaires, when have they helped people? I don't trust that. You put that person in absolute power, they will show you who they are. That's true. I've never heard him saying AH was a good guy pre-World War II and pre-addict on a certain crystal meth thing. He's not lying. What? I have a question. If we were in post-war right now, right? Say, for instance, someone came and did to the United States what was did to Germany in World War I. And say our next president brought a crumbling economy back to life, brought back the power of the United States. You're telling me he became Time Magazine's man of the year. You're going to tell me that president of the United States wouldn't be a person you'd want to hang out with? Put it in perspective. Talk about it. Let's see, this is why they don't want people like me to get a platform. And I hope this video stands up because I'm not saying nothing hateful, nothing that isn't what we don't already know. Think about it. You guys are like, that's the best president. And then all of a sudden a war happened. That's all Bryce Mitchell is saying. That's it. But it's funny when it comes to that topic. It's controversial because they don't want you to look in that topic. They don't want you to talk about it. They want you just to believe one thing and one thing only: the power of the narrative, the power of the bias they gave you. They don't want you thinking. They do not want you looking. They don't want you understanding who the real evil is. They want you to focus on the evil that they tell you is evil while they're the evil. Have I lied yet? Name something I lied about. And I'm not trying to offend nobody. Let me tell you, unaliving, the mass unaliving of people, regardless of situation and circumstances, is disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't care what the truth of what matter was. I'm not defending that. But can I ask this? Are we 100% sure everything that they said that happened in that time was the way they said it that happened in that time? Can we agree that there's something that just doesn't add up with everything that they have perpetrated to us? Can we agree on that? I can agree that, listen, genocide's atrocity, life should matter, everything. It's funny. You guys will call and throw these labels out when they attack a certain sect of people, but you won't do that for children. Why don't we have that same energy? Where's the energy? Where's the label for the unaliving of children? You know, when we go after a certain sect of people, it's anti-Semitic. Where's the anti-word for going after children? Why don't we have that same energy? Why are they so heavily protected? And you know what? You know why the hate is towards them right now? They want that. Oh, yeah, it's a reverse psychology method. They want us to hate that certain people so they can use that card. Yes. We're being bred to hate them. That's why they stay in their positions. That's why they're the CEO, CTO of everything. And they're all related, and they all look alike. Why do you think they all look alike? It's the evil world. Yeah, boy. Yeah, why do you think there was astrophysicists and genetic scientists on Epstein Island? Why you think they were over there? Why, huh? Why you think the guy who's Stephen Hawking was over there? You think Stephen Hawking was digging in some drawers? Come on, man. But I got to convince you of that. Why was he over there 8 times? Stephen Hawking went to the island 8 times. 8 times, guys. What was Stephen Hawking doing on that island? And you really want to think it's what they told us it was? Y'all better wake up, man. Anything that comes across that TV, that media, that internet, that tablet, that phone, let me tell you, it's controlled opposition. There's a lot of truthers out there that is controlled opposition. A lot of people ain't gonna like what I'm about to say, but Kendrick Lamar is controlled opposition. How can Kendrick Lamar virtue signal the way in the facet that he does virtue signal, but never does or puts his foot forward to any of these issues judicially? Huh? You're gonna tell me he's a man for the people, but how many proactive actions has he made? Huh? How many movements? How many charities? Huh? Or is he just wearing a uniform, acting accordingly to be controlled opposition? It's a question. People, listen, you will know my fruits by the fruit that I bear, that I do, my actions, my works, not by what I say out my mouth. Stand on business. Tell me I'm lying. Give me an amen, man. What's up, the chat? How y'all doing in the chat, man? I see y'all. Give me an amen. Everyone, give my boy a high five. Look who's home. Holla at the homie. He's back. You know what I'm saying? Now I get to go have all this. But tell me I'm lying, man. Tell me I'm lying, bro. This is real, bro. This is real. Understand where you are and how they go so hard to make sure you believe what they tell you. That's all I want to say to Bryce Mitchell, man. Bryce Mitchell, I hope you happen to see this video. I really do. Because I would have, let me go to podcast with you. Not saying you can't stand on your own, but bring me with you. Like Rampage brought that yes man over there trying to virtue signal and get viewerships off of what you said. And not even give you a platform to defend yourself and say it all bold and all this. And that's why they took it down. But you, my friend, as you're in there fighting other grown-ass men that are killers, you're telling me you couldn't stand on your business right there after all the outlandish things you say and talk about? I was very disappointed in you. And let me say, for all you people out there that are going to say, well, no, the money came to control them. No. I just showed Cliff this. They asked Dana White. They asked Dana White, is there going to be any repercussion? And this is why I love Dana White. They asked Dana White, is there going to be any repercussions off the comments that Bryce Mitchell has made? He said, bro, no. That's free speech. I might not agree with what he's saying, but hey, I believe in my country's free speech. And he can say whatever he wants. He fights for me. What he does outside of business time is his business. I mean, whoa. So you can't say it's the machine, but they tried to humiliate him. And I think it's going to backfire because I hate to say this, and I like the fact that this happened, but the public did not like what Rampage Jackson's podcast tried to do to Bryce Mitchell. So that says a couple things to me. People are waking up. people are actually more in agreement. And that's crazy to say because we're not saying that genocide is not a bad thing. I'm just saying that they are understanding that everything that they told us back in that time, somebody lying. You know what I mean? Somebody's lying, guys. So shout out to Dana White, a true American, constitutionally, absolutely. I respect that. Billionaire said stand on business. Told him stand on business. Told him stand on business, man. That's the type of boss that's the type of friends I wish I had, which I do now. But think about what I'm saying. I wish I had family members that did that, regardless if they agree with me or not. That's not even a family member standing by Bryce Mitchell. That's his boss, who's in corporate America, standing by Bryce Mitchell. Not standing with what he says, but standing with the fact he has the right to say and believe whatever he wants. Damn, that's a mic drop, man. Shout out Dana White, man. Y'all if what I just said didn't make you like Dana White more, regardless of agreeing, I don't know what will. That's amazing. That is amazing. All right, guys, this is gonna be a rant show today. Listen, yeah, I made a video and thank you, Mr. Bryce Mitchell, for being something. But stand on business. Stand on business, bro. Stand on business, man. Don't ever be afraid to talk the truth because you got a lot of support and things to go back that up. But I made a video yesterday, and I want to talk about this. And I have to, again, I'm not going to lie. The two topics that we're going to talk about today is very touchy, and I have to be careful. So if you see me go, there's a reason, because I'm trying to calculate how I'm going to present what I'm about to say. You guys know I can speak very fluently. I can articulate myself very beautifully. If I'm stuttering or doing something like that, there is a reason. You guys understand. They are on my body. They're on it. What are you doing? What's he saying? Delete them. Harmful content. They're on me, man, regardless of what platform. I got celebrities that are putting hashtags out there for me and do not like me and are screaming at phones when I'm across the country. Allegedly. Viable witness. But okay, I made a video yesterday talking about Rick and Morty. And Rick and Morty has, not gonna lie, this has been on my mind for the past 3-4 days. And I keep talking about it. My last podcast I did yesterday, I talked about it. But we're going to go down in real time, the mental connecting dot rabbit hole, burrowing, all connected. I made a video yesterday doing this, and I wrote as a caption for some of y'all that know already. And I guarantee you're going to see this video on YouTube. Guaranteed. All the conspiracy people, this video is going to be on YouTube. I already know it is. Q Half will post it. You just cut me off. Q Half will post it. Dre OG will post it. I already know because I understand what they do. I put, if you understand what I'm saying, type yes in the comments. And you should have seen how many people. That video is being suppressed right now. It's got 600 likes with 4,000 views. 120 comments. And you're telling me it only has 4,000 likes? I'm at like 15% like ratio. Watched all the way through, 3-minute video, going ham, commenting like crazy, being shared, not going out. And it's because of all the connecting dots. And it all starts from, again, the Rick and Morty episode about the battery. Now, just for reference, in this podcast purposes only, and we're recording, and we now got this new thing where we're going to chop things up and see if we can make it professional. So if you see this episode get printed twice, there's a reason, and please notice the differences. We're about to play you that video again, just for, again, podcast purposes. It is the Rick and Morty video. So, again, for y'all who've never seen it, but you're going to understand more after watching it again.
Animated TV show Rick and Morty. A mad scientist named Rick decided to invent a machine to serve him butter. When the machine became sentient and realized that its entire sole purpose was to serve butter, it went into a depressive state. This is a good way to understand that Gnostic cruelty. of physical existence. Rick's battery on his car, or fucking something like that. I'm gonna get the details of this episode wrong, but it's the gist. The battery on his car quit working, so he had to shrink himself down into a macrocosmic level to go into the battery. There was an entire civilization of living physical entities whose efforts and energy is actually what powered Rick's car. Rick pleaded with Morty and said, do not tell these people that their sole purpose is to power my car. It would create chaos. The living entities, the conscious beings within this reality wouldn't be able to handle the brutal reality of their existence being for the sole purpose to power animated TV show Rick and Morty. A mad scientist named Rick decided to invent a machine to serve him butter. When the machine became sentient and realized that its entire sole purpose was to serve butter, it went into a depressive state. This is a good way to understand that Gnostic cruelty of physical existence. Rick's battery on his car, or fucking something like that. I'm gonna get the details of this episode wrong, but it's the gist. The battery on his car quit working, so he had to shrink himself down into a macrocosmic level to go into the battery. There was an entire civilization of living physical entities whose efforts and energy is actually what powered Rick.
Where do you guys think we are? I know this is a crazy segue. I go from Bryce Mitchell talking about AH to now rabbit hole diving. I'm sorry, but it's a little bit of versatility for you. How many of y'all think like me? All right, let me just say that. I honestly, when I hear truth, I get triggered. I don't know about y'all, but it's our sixth sense, it's our discernment. I get triggered when I want to scream and go, oh, that's it. And I'm telling you, when you look around the landscape of reality, why are there in 5 continents these black cubes, right? Why are our cities designed like motherboards? Why is Anchor Watt the foundation of computer chips, right? Why? Why does everything look like we are being harvested? Seriously. In all aspects, in healthcare, in religion, in education, in economy, when you broaden your eyes to that and you start looking at every individual category, you see harvesting or energy production. So if there's energy production, where's that energy going? Are you aware of it? Right? And then you start looking at everything they tell us that we are. What is it about us? And I always go back to this. I ask this question to myself a lot. Have I gotten an answer? No, but that's also why I trip. The reasoning behind your reasoning is not mine. Some do it to get high. I do it for spiritual purposes only. And there's times when I'm I'm going through it, I wish I was alone in a dark room and talking things out. Because you know who you're talking to if you're doing things in that nature. But let's go with the information we know. All right? He separated the waters from the waters. When you look at a star, does that not look like the bottom of a pool went through a telescope? Like you ever look at the bottom of a pool and you see that shimmer of the light going through the water? And you look at a star, it looks like the same thing. You've also seen this God's hand video. I don't know how much validity is behind this video, but it's something that always triggered me. I'm not going to lie. And my discernment never did me wrong, but you see a hand brush through the star like it's water. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that's a very interesting video. Now, the moon, the face by the moon, we know that's CGI, all that. Yes. But that star was not the same type of energy. No. We know what's real. We know what's fake. And our discernment is our superpower. All right. I believe, this is my belief or opinion, all right, that I've deduced from the information. And that is that all of Earth is Atlantis. They got us perspective on a city. It's funny. And they act like they go searching for it, right? But I believe the flood knocked out Atlantis. You'll see some people who are awakened call themselves, they changed their names. A couple did. And I've seen people even say this in my comments. There was a dude that says the earthbound person. Now his name is the Atlantean. Because I think he came to the same conclusion or deduced the same conclusion I've come to, where we are Atlantis. We live in Atlantis, Babylon, whatever you want to call it. They hit it. It was all of Earth. And they got wiped from a flood. Doesn't that sound similar to a story that we already know, but a different type of flood? It was a mud flood. Tartaria. Shit. All right, we got commonality now. They just didn't let us know it was Atlantis because we would start seeing patterns. And so they put a religion at us and called it Buck of Noah. And Noah did the flood and he had to grab 2 of every animal. They fantasized the thing. When in all actuality, the city of Atlantis or the world of Atlantis got destroyed, just like the world of Tartaria got destroyed. Now where are we? And then that rabbit hole goes right connected to aliens, interdimensional beings. There's a connection. I have a question. Where are we seeing these UFOs come out of? The water. I'm sorry, the water. Sorry, that Jersey, New York came out. The water. I'm a hood. I'm sorry, my bad. The water, whatever. They come out the water, right? Interesting. He separated the waters from the waters. Have y'all ever seen the video imaging they show us of these underwater, what's the DC character? You got Aquaman, and then these bubbles underwater. Blow that up to a Earth-size scale. How sure are you that we're not living something like that? Because if he separated the waters from the waters, he didn't say the water from the land, man. He said the waters from the waters. So that means we're in between water all around us, right? But you talk to Christians about this, they'll defend space. Yo, this is why Christians don't even know what the hell they are, man. I'm sorry. They don't. They really do not. You tell them about the firmament that their Bible says, even one of the Nazis from High Jump and all that, Fishbowl, said we live in a firmament. Psalms 19:1, I believe. Yes, 19:1 says, and a firmament showeth his handiwork. On his tombstone, Mr. Werner von Braun. He separated the waters from the waters. You have to wake up. Christians talk about space is real because of the science. That's what I'm saying. They're all Satanists. I don't care what they say. They don't know what's really going on. And they can say, oh, the Bible's a metaphor. But is it? Have y'all looked at the sky? Have y'all ever really looked out at the sky outside of your bias on what you've been propagated? The cloud formations look like waves of water. Tell me I'm lying. Have y'all seen that video he showed you, the correlation between the ocean and the sky? And let me tell you, they mirror each other. It's mirroring. He separated the waters from the waters. I think we were Atlantis, guys. I think Earth is Atlantis. It's the only thing that makes sense. Why can't they find that city? Huh? Still think it's a city, huh? That's interesting. It's crazy how they direct our perspective on what we think things should be. And they give a little attention so they can make a History Channel episode on it or a Discovery Channel and get you hooked onto the idea because the world's a stage. It really is. And they don't want you thinking. They want to tell you what to think. Wake up! Because it ain't what you think it is, man. So we are at the aliens part, right? So I believe these aliens, every time we get to, nuclear weapons or we get some type of weapon and you don't know what type of weapons they had in Atlantis because we don't know their real history. You definitely don't know the energy weapons they had with Tartaria because they hidden so much of that energy, right? And look where we're headed at in this time where they're talking about free energy, the adoption of AI. And all of a sudden you got alien talk again with a pole shift, which happens to be associated with a cataclysmic event, which also we have these atomic scientists moving the doomsday clock. There's a lot of things they're trying to have us project our next cataclysm. How they do that? Fear. How they do that? That TV, that Black Mirror, the abundance of tragic events, Asheville, Lahaina, LA, distribution plants, railroads, war. You don't see what's going on? And how are we all vibrating? Don't even know it. Not even conscious of it. Cliff came home. Let me put it in perspective. Cliff came home and he asked me, do y'all know what's going on with Canada? You know what I told him? I have no idea. Don't care. I'm so engrossed in trying to get out the matrix. It's not part of my reality. And I saw the light bulb go off in his head because he knew what I was saying. He said, so all this shit that's going on in Canada, how does it stop you from growing? What good is it knowing that information that, Canada's getting prepared for war? Now you see why they tell you everything. Now you see the purpose of Doge. Now you see the purpose of politics. Your reality, you're projecting when you worry about it, you are vibrating low and you're all wondering, we need to go to war. We need to start prepping. I know how I'm prepping. I'm prepping the long-term game to get my son out the matrix. I stare at charts. Every time I come to this computer, what am I looking at, Cliff? A chart. That's it. All I go through TikTok is to think about topics to have my creative mind go and to get confirming things on what's right and wrong and just to preach and speak positivity out. We talked about how love is dark. So with TikTok, that's why I had TikTok. That's why. Because I want to broadcast proper things. TikTok, again, is an evil tool and it can be used for good. Just like money is an evil tool, it can be used for good. But again, we're getting back to what I'm saying. I'm getting off topic. We have these aliens and a cataclysm and pole shift. Well, you know what's kind of also with all that information they tell us? Then you have Epstein Island. Then you have the narrative, what they tell us. Right? Again, vibrating low. But when we get back to the aliens, I want to talk about that specific technology. And I believe the reason we're seeing aliens, they're not aliens. I believe they're interdimensional beings, or we call them demons, aliens. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. And it makes you look at the reasoning or the intention on why there's CERN. What statue is out in front of CERN? Shiva the Destroyer. Oh shit, that lines up with the cataclysm. Oh shit, that lines up with Atlanteans. Oh shit, that lines up with Tartarians. Oh shit, these things are lining up again. What do you think we're heading? Please don't base everything what I'm about to say out fear. That's not real. But start this shit over. You know what also happens when everything starts over? We're at the brink of revolution, of waking up. That's how I know something's about to happen. That's why they program us with all these Hunger Games and all these movies and The Walking Dead. We're living it already. Tell me I'm lying. And if you think CERN sole purpose isn't for transportation or portal or interdimension hopping, you're bugging. Have y'all seen that footage of the MH Flight 370 with the 3 orbs flying around it? And the lieutenant from the Navy, who was actually to be Korean, got martial lawed and 9 years in prison behind just showing that video. He thought it was just aliens and he wanted to expose aliens to the population. He didn't know that was a possibility, allegedly. That was a privatized government contractor messing around with free technology, free energy, interdimensional travel. You watch these 3 orbs circle this plane like they're pulled through magnetism, free moving, like defying physics here. And then all of a sudden, you see them converge on the plane, just like it showed on radar, disappears. And it's been already confirmed that this video was screen recorded off a military operation computer because of the frame rate of the file. And the reason they caught the man that did it is because that has a log-in procedure and process, and all they did was follow the timestamps of the film, of the download, and everything, and they arrested him. So do you guys think that video's fake? Keep putting your head in the sand. They have it already. Maxwell Chikambutsu is starting his TV, car, any type of electronic device he wants with radio frequency. what would that do to the economics of the world? Do you think big pharma would be around? Do you think oil would be around? Do you think if you had a car that you could point a gun at, it would start it and somehow harness that frequency where you could operate anything? Your TV, I mean, anything electronic, you name it, vacuum, you name it. Yep. Your e-cigarettes. You don't need batteries. Think about what I'm saying here. You think they want the world to have that? Come on. So that all lines, everything is connecting, man. And when I made that video talking about, if you understand what I'm saying, yes, you know how many people want to throw their things in there? You guys remember the movie Dark City? Who remembers the movie Dark City? When it was this floating mechanism, we'll call it, all right, in space, you know, but it was a flat world where things would change and it would put people in asleep. It's ironic. And they would switch off situations that they had to live. Scenarios would change, you know. The one would work as a cop. The next day he would go to sleep. He would wake up. He would be a mechanic. And did you realize at the end of that movie why they were doing this to all the people? One, they were studying them. And two, they were feeding off. Truth in plain sight. Now, let me tell you, if you found out that your mere existence, like Rick and Morty states, if your mere existence was to be the food source of a higher intelligence, a different species, a spiritual essence, we'll call it, we don't know, but I believe it's something along these lines. Would you offer yourself? Would you want to live? Or would you want to figure a way to get out of that and be that energy? Because I believe everything is energy. First was the word. You got to go back to your fundamental understanding of existence, of reality. We're all vibration. We're all an essence. And if you've ever left your body, that means you have a power. If you ever astro traveled, you understand that this is a laying playfield. And then you really understand why they are sucking the energy off of you. And let me tell you, I said this yesterday in my live. The first time you do it, I did it by accident. And I thought I died. It's scary. It really is. And anyone tells you that they didn't feel that way when they first did it, they're lying to you because they've never done it. They've never done it. I don't care. The first time you do that and you see yourself and you're like, you think you're dead. You have an out-of-body experience where you're staring at you sleeping. You what? I started praying. Oh, I swear to God, I'll never do it. Like, come on, let's be real. Like, I was trying to get back in. And I couldn't move, but I could feel everything. That's how I know everyone. I could feel everything. I could feel the chair. I could feel the lights coming off. The energy off it. I could feel the air, the ether. I could feel it. I was all one with it. And anyone who's ever been in between knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. And they can verify what I'm talking about. So yes, I wouldn't off myself. Say, for instance, I believe that. And that got confirmed as reality. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. But I would work my way to understand how I'll never get through this cycle again. I will separate from it, which is why we make content. I always see this comment to people that are on the verge of waking up, you know, learning all this information. How does this change what goes on in my life? I still got to go to work tomorrow. You got a long way to go, brother. You want to know why we talk about these things? First off, please understand that just because you know this doesn't mean the next person doesn't know this. And I'm always trying to provoke people's thoughts. I'm always trying to do that. So sometimes I got to start back at the basics. If you guys notice, I cycle my content. I cycle it. A lot of things you guys hear me say, you've heard 1,000 times. But then there's times where I discover something new. And I'm also, again, a student posing to be a teacher. I will give y'all some good spiritual advice. And please know I'm not trying to give it to you. I'm giving it to myself. Believe that. We're all one. So I know a lot of you guys relate with what I'm talking about. I'm just have the courage to talk about it. And I affect people that way. You should see my comments, my messages. Thank you, thank you. And I got haters and I got lovers. It doesn't matter. Just balance everything. And you need a hater in your life. If no one's hating on you guys, then you ain't doing something right. If you ain't got haters, bro, then guess what? You're exactly where they want you to be. Nowhere. Give people a reason to hate you. I'm telling you, because that hate will turn to love. What's jealousy? Love and hate at the same time. Believe that. You know what makes people jealous? It's because they want to be you when they don't even realize they are. Why are they that way? Because we're divided. I can go down this all day and it all connects and it all makes sense to y'all. And you won't be able to deny the things I say. How am I able to fluently talk about this shit? Because we live it. Y'all ever see Kevin Gates talk about him having his doctrine in psychology? What he said? He said he just went to do it just to see if he was right about something. And he said psychology majors, the labels they put on things, he was already that. He didn't need a school to tell him he was that. He just went to see if everything that he already knew we call street smarts. He went to see if his street smarts aligned with what the bookwork said. He was already a psychology major. It's like saying this. When you go to a drug rehab, right? Would you take advice from a person who was on drugs for 20 years and got clean? Or someone who's never been on drugs, but they got their doctrine for 6 years on how recovery, psychological recovery. Who you trusting? The doctor or the drug addict to get clean? You think that shit don't apply to the same thing on all forms and facets? You think it's just with addicts? Wake up. Who you gonna learn how to do charts from? Someone who's a billionaire already? Who you gonna take advice from? Someone who's been in the stock market for 20 years, or someone who just graduated and got their master's, all A's? You're gonna take the wisdom over the education every day. Well, if you're smart, you will. And what is wisdom? Experience. Personal experience. Education can only get you so far because you got to remember who's giving you that education. Now, who's giving you your wisdom? Aha! Wake up. That's what it is, man. It's so basic. So all these rabbit holes converge back to, I'm sorry, that Rick and Morty episode. And I'm going to rewatch that episode this weekend. I am. I want to watch some Rick and Morty, bro. We got to watch some Rick and Morty this weekend. If you don't understand what we're doing this weekend, you ain't been following me long enough. And join the Patreon. Seriously, this is crazy. I showed Cliff this trade that I did yesterday. I didn't do it, but I called it out perfectly. And he said, all right, goddamn, you want $100? Because it's different just watching someone on the internet do it. When you come home and he's watching me operate it and seeing it, he's like, oh, this guy knows. Yeah, I said, but now you see why I'm pushing it to my Patreon and what we're going to do for them. He said, yo, that's a good thing you're doing. I said, no shit. So yeah, man, if you don't know what the Patreon is, it's its own app. Download the Patreon. You'll see it at the bottom of the screen right here. TBTR Podcast. Follow me. Join the group this summer. Actually, this spring, May. And I showed him why it's going to jump in May. Yeah, y'all going to have a good summer. All the ones who are listening to me, buying the coins, I tell them to. And please let me know. Or not let me know. Please let you know that I don't want to be rich. I don't want to I don't want to be a billionaire. That's not why I learned all these things. I want to be free. If your freedom is not your overall pursuit, if your happiness is not your overall pursuit, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're just existing. This life was not given to you to exist. Please, if I can give anyone the strength who looks at their life right now and is not liking their situation, it's most likely the reason you're not liking your situation is because you're just existing. And I'm not talking about spiritually. I am not saying you're existing spiritually. You should get to the point of existence spiritually, but y'all are existing physically, emotionally hurt, traumatized, You know what I'm talking about. I ain't gotta spell it out. You know what I mean? If you maybe join this Patreon, I might wake y'all up and give y'all driving force to better yourself. Buy the coin. And if y'all are on that live, XDC has been ringing in my ear, bro. My hand itches talking about it. Who heard Coach Tommy talk about XDC last night? And he was told by his higher ups, do not broadcast this. You can broadcast XRP, which tells me that ain't doing it for you guys. Is it going to pump? Yeah, it's going to go to $5. Definitely. Maybe not definitely, but $4 or $5. Is it going to hit 20, 30? Nope. Nope. But XDC, man, XDC is going to change lives. I have a feeling it is. It's going to be the smart contract. That's what a bridge currency is. It's a smart contract. It's going to be the smart contracts of all smart contracts to the foundation system of our new economy. Everything. The reason everything is going to be tokenized is going to be through XDC. I guarantee it. And he was told by his agency not to tell people about it. So if you know, you know. If y'all want the right X, it's XDC, XLM, then XRP. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't have to believe me or not, trust your intuition. If your hand just itched off what I said, if you felt what I just said, do a little bit of research. Do a little bit. Learn what XDC is. Learn, understand. Learn what the payment solution sector of the economy is. There you go. I direct your path. Learn what the payment solution sector of the economy is. And learn why XDC is important in that facet. Straight up. I'm not getting rich by this. I'm just telling you, no, look into it. Not financial advice. But yeah, that's probably my second or third highest coin right now. Straight up. I would push High Street because that's my baby. And then I would probably be XDC. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Yeah, nah. Gala is probably pushing my 6 now. That's a gaming token. I just know gaming's because gaming's always going to be here. GTA is going to change the metaverse market. It is. Watch. When GTA drops, I don't care if it's a bear market, it does not matter. Watch all the metaverse tokens go. And you'll see why. Mark my words. I'm on stamp right now. Was it February 12th? Watch when Grand Theft Auto drops and watch the metaverse gaming market of crypto go bananas. Go bananas. I know I talked about a lot of external conspiracy type things about our overall reality. But please know, guys, I always say this and I have to use this as a disclaimer. Everything I talk about will always be my intention for you to focus on who you are. And to make sure you're not thinking no one else's biases. You're not thinking nobody else's agendas. Nobody else's thoughts. Nobody else's narratives. But yours. Not mine. Not Cliff's. Not Obama's. Not Trump's. Not the churches. Not the Muslims. No, yours. Unapologetically. You came in this world alone, didn't you? Came in through a portal, whether you know it or not. Guess what? If anything I know in life is consistency, if you came in through a portal, where do you think you're going to exit? Something to think about. I love all of y'all. Please join the Patreon. If y'all want me to come on live again today, I want to see it in the comments. Not on the live comments, in the comments of the video. Like, share this. If you want to wake people up, then share my content. Get the Patreon up. Let's build something. Not for richness, but freedom and escape. And you please believe it's not something I can do alone. I love all of y'all. Peace to the gods.